All right. This is Critical Thoughts. I'm Jake Bird. With me is Braxton Smith. And today we'll be talking about Hillary Clinton, what we think about her. And as we try.
No? No? Okay. All right. Too soon. All right. I'm out. Talking about our Fuhrer here. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, as everybody should already know, we're probably not going to give the fairest interpretation on this one, but we gave y'all like 2 weeks to contact us and tried to defend her if you could. So this is what you get.
She's pure vitriol. Like even like last time I was able to get behind Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders he actually does promote some things that we can appreciate, like the whole non-aggression philosophy. Like he doesn't want to go to war. Granted, he did pay, he did vote to fund a lot of the wars that are going on. He didn't actually necessarily vote in favor to go to war. Whereas like Hillary Clinton is basically just an extension of Obama, and if I'm not mistaken, she has made it clear several times that she would extend what Obama is doing, but a little more so. So there's no way to defend her. If you want to give that a shot, you go ahead.
No, I mean, part of what makes her just a bad taste in everybody's mouth is she is the example of the political elite. I mean, whichever way the votes and the polling goes, that tends to be what she tries to follow. Maybe abortion, I think, is the one thing she kind of stays consistent with. But other than that, it's just...
Wait, so she's for it?
Yeah, well, her general position is, obviously, I would like for us to try to promote a way so that there isn't too much abortion and that every child is loved and everything like that. But it's the woman's choice, and that choice extends probably farther than what the law requires or recognizes. It she gives a gray area there that's pretty flexible.
Yeah, classic Hillary. Cause she goes on a pretty good bit talking about the word and how religious she is, and I don't know how anybody could ever watch that and actually take it as being serious. Quite clearly a facade. Like it almost seems like a prerequisite with a lot of your political figures that you have to be a man, or in this case a woman of God. And it just like it's like nails on a chalkboard listening to this lady talk about how she's a woman of God. It's just like if you don't believe in it, just fess up to it. Man, well, I want to say man up to it, but this is Hillary we're talking about, so it makes it difficult to say these things. It's typical.
Yeah. Don't be a sexist, Brax.
Yeah, I know. I'm just your typical patriarch here, oppressing the women's. But one. I'm just going to throw out one of the biggest issues I had with her, talking about sexism and all that. One of my biggest problems with her was the fact that she had come out with a policy talking about if a woman claims that she was raped, right off the bat, man has to prove himself innocent. You're guilty until proven innocent if you were the alleged assailant in the situation. And yet when it comes down to the fact that her husband, Bill Clinton, has recently come out, and several people have come out and said, hey, I was raped by your husband, she's like, well, you're just a harlot. Like my husband would never. And the weirdest thing is that she hates him and he hates her. Like, nobody will dispute this. I mean, I can't get it on paper necessarily, but you can definitely tell the animosity between them. Like, nobody will dispute this. Why is she defending him? She's such a fraud.
Yeah, it's the modern day political marriage. They're just staying together to hold the kingdom. That's about it.
That's exactly. So that's my biggest beef with her. That and the fact that she basically will continue with the last 10 president, or well, basically the last 100 years has been just a bunch of your establishment slowly taking away your rights. So I don't know what other things did you want to bring up about her?
I mean,
her emails, her Benghazi. Where do you begin?
I mean, that's the thing. Of course, there's the Benghazi thing. There's also, you know, wiping their emails. That's pretty hilarious too. But I mean, a lot of the times, like in Alabama, in this state, I've seen people just go, "Yeah, I'm party Democrat for 30 plus years, and I'm throwing my vote for Hillary." But there's something bad about her. But that's the thing that they do. It's I'm a Democrat 30 plus years, and they're still supporting Hillary. And I from a policy perspective, I can't see that. If you're going to tote the party line, at least do it with Bernie Sanders. At least he's a man I believe will stick by what he says. But Hillary Clinton? No.
Yeah, he's principled.
Yeah.
To some extent. Hillary Clinton, I mean, hell, I look on Wiki, I swear to God, this whole time we've been doing all these candidates, all right, here's a confession. Every time I use Wikipedia. Okay? I go to Wikipedia, Hillary Clinton, and they're like, well, you know, some people say she's neocon, but she's kind of a liberal. But, well, it depends what time of the day it is. Really, when it comes down to it, it's like it really comes down to what are the polls telling this lady? You know, it's just like she flip flops so much. You cannot make a solid stance saying that I support Hillary because. There's nothing you can stand for other than the fact she's a woman. That's about it. There's no solid stance. Whereas at least with you know, Bernie Sanders, you can at least state that, you know, I believe in equality because so and so. But with Hillary, well, who am I talking to? Oh, the conservatives. Well, yes, I will protect your guns. Oh, today I'm in Connecticut. Well, no, guns kill people. We're taking those away. It's a form of demagoguery.
Oh, what's this? I'm at a coal mine in Kentucky. Well, let me just sit down and take a shot of rye whiskey with the miners, because you know I'm one of the common people. That was the last election against Obama. She sat down with coal miners and took a shot of whiskey. It was like you could see her trying to stomach it. It was like. Little bit dribbling down her chin and everything. It was worth it just to see that, because that is not the picture of fakeness right there.
Right? You gotta hand it to her. At least she didn't have like some kind of caramelized water. Like she's just so fake and so recited. It just seems like she would have had everything staged before, like have 10 shot glasses and they all be filled with like Coke or something, and then her just throwing back like, yeah. She had to impress people. She's just that fake.
Maybe she did fake it, and what happened was they didn't give her Coca-Cola, but they gave her Sam's Choice, and you know what that means. Oh, I, Hillary Clinton, the queen of the Democrats, given the generic label. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the problem. It's like, you know, she tries to appeal to environmentalists. You look at her history, she's back and forth and stuff, but I looked at this one. It was like the Energy Policy Act of 2005, and I'm not for subsidies well, neither of us are. We're libertarian. We wouldn't want any subsidies at all, but when I read this was like the environmentalist wet dream. It had like $30+ billion worth of funding for alternative fuels, various different tax credits. It was extending tax credits for getting hybrid vehicles and things like this. And she voted no against it. And I'm like, really?
Wow.
And that's one of the things she keeps trying to always say she's trying to support is environmentalism. You know, I voted against the Alaska, you know, drilling and all this. Well, that was like an easy knock out of the park, and nothing happened with that one.
Yeah. So it's really, I mean, just hearing that, just that one situation in of itself, amongst many others, it just sounds like one situation after another. You really don't know where she's going to stand. And you know what really upsets me? Speaking of Bernie, we were talking about him earlier. You're hearing about these primaries going down the way they are. And isn't it just so strange and coincidental that this lady can win 6 coin tosses in a row? It's like, you don't understand the odds is like what was it, 1 in 94 or something? Like the odds were, you know, I wouldn't say astronomical, but they were just like, you know, they were way up there. I mean, I know it was at least 1 in 75. It was just ridiculous amount of odds. And she just happened to win all these coin tosses in a row. She just happens to be winning all these primaries. And understand that you know, I'm a libertarian. I don't like Hillary Clinton and I don't like Bernie Sanders. But, you know, I've been looking through Facebook. I've been combing these polls. I've been combing all these commentaries. And I got to tell you, it's like 2012 with Ron Paul all over again. You know, Ron Paul should have been winning all those polls, but he didn't because the GOP chose Mitt Romney. And now, right now, Bernie Sanders, again, I don't really like the guy. Still like him a little more than Hillary Clinton, but still don't like him. He should be dominating everybody right now. Like, from what I've been seeing, he should actually have more votes than like everybody combined right now, from what I've been seeing. And yet somehow Hillary's trouncing him. Like, at least, and they aren't even bothering to make it look like it's really close. I have yet to meet a Hillary supporter, but I know at least 10 rabid Bernie Sanders supporters. Like, I debate them on the daily, but yet have I met or even spoken or even heard of anybody knowing a Hillary Clinton supporter. So the fact that she's having a rig, it just seems like she's rigging a lot of this right now. And it just makes the fact that she has to do that just seems like she's representing herself overall, not the people. So that just automatically for me disqualifies her amongst many of these other things we're talking about here. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said. I mean, the only people I could even say we're going to vote for Hillary are ones that are just Democratic Party line all the time. And even then, it's not someone that can say, oh, this policy right here, this Clinton policy, this is what I am about. It's never that. It's always, well, I'm Democrat, and here you go. This is what's being thrust at us.
Right. And okay, so let me just go ahead and change my remark. I did hear through this guy, Jake Bird, that he overheard somebody that was talking about they were going to vote for her because, but otherwise, I've yet to hear of anybody.
Yeah, allegedly.
She's horrible. I mean, you know, the situation in Benghazi, you know, I'm sure everybody's seeing the movie that came out. There's like 13 hours, I think it was called. I don't know. I saw it, but I might have been slightly inebriated. But I did remember this overall sentiment of it was that, you know, these gentlemen went out there. These guys were professionals. This is CIA agents, ex-Navy SEALs, ex-Marine recons. These guys are professionals, and they were going out there and they sent email after email telling her that the whole situation is just ridiculous. Like, there's no way that they could defend against what was coming, the storm that was on the horizon, and it was completely ignored, and ultimately led to the death of one of our ambassadors over there. That's just so humiliating. And, you know, to have that happen on your hands, granted, you know, she wasn't necessarily directly involved, but she's overall in charge. Like, you know, I recently I did an inspection on a boat that took some damage. And, you know, while the captain wasn't directly involved with it, he was still relieved of command from the damage sustained from that boat, you know. So it's like, why isn't she held to the same standard? And instead, nay, not only is she completely removed from this whole situation. She's being considered for the most powerful position in the world right now, the head of the world power that is the United States of America. And then on top of that, you have this email scandal. I received, again, guy in the Navy, I received constantly this training on what not to do with your emails, what not to do with all this classified information. And I would hope that at least every once in a while, maybe she goes through the same training, maybe, being that she's in such a high position with way more sensitive information than I'm exposed to, that she would know better not to expose that to a private server through her private emails. And whether or not they're classified at the time, hey, they might be. I never in my imagination have I ever considered, hey, this would be cool to, rather than share through my government email, let me just go ahead and send it through my private email. I understand she's probably trying to bypass Obama, which leads to a whole nother arena of contradictions, saying I'm going to be just like Obama, but we don't get along, so I had to hide stuff from him. He's just 30 shades of sketchy that I could never deal with as a president. Okay, so end rant. Go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
Fun fact, in 2006, there was actually an amendment proposed for confidential authority, where if a person has access to classified information and they leak it, they would be prohibited from ever having that kind of access ever again, whether it came requirement from their station or whatever. Guess who voted no against that? Hillary Clinton.
I like how you timed that for like right when I took a sip of my drink. Thank you. Yeah, but bro, she's untouchable, dude. She's part of the Clinton dynasty. She can do these things and not only be completely expunged of it all, but she can also run for president. So, what really makes all this so sketchy is the fact that she's been completely removed from all these charges, somehow avoided all of them, somehow garnered all the votes of the Democratic Party from Bernie Sanders, who's just been trouncing everybody, even the Republicans. I hate to admit it because, I really don't like this guy, but he's trouncing her. But somehow she's getting all the delegates. It's like she was handed this presidency by the establishment itself. And so now we're having to consider. It's going to come down to, Bernie Sanders is not going to get this. Let's just face it. He's not going to get the nod from the Democrats. He's going to get screwed over just like Ron Paul did with the Republicans last time around. So you're going to have Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump. Now, you might be asking yourself as a voter, lesser of two evils, right? So this is, ultimately we're going to get more into this, but I would seriously implore you to consider that, while Donald Trump is a horrible decision, Hillary Clinton is just as bad. It's just hasn't been advertised in the media as much. So I would implore you as the voter to consider a third party option, possibly the Libertarian Party. Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to tell you. So if you want to throw some more at Hillary, talking about how shitty she is,
Yeah. Yeah, again, I'm with you when it comes to supporting Bernie Sanders. It's him and Hillary Clinton. It's kind of like the opposite. I like Bernie as a person, but I don't like his socialist principles. But on the other side, Hillary Clinton, I hate her, and she has no principles to like anyways. So I just can't see if there's anyone out there that sees this message and is actually thinking of Hillary Clinton as a viable candidate over Bernie Sanders. A little display of principle, the Patriot Act, with Bernie Sanders, he voted against it consistently. The only time he kind of changed his mind was after he proposed an amendment to actually give it like a stop date. And when that didn't go through, he voted against it. That same amendment Hillary Clinton votes against, and she votes for the Patriot Act from beginning to end. And that is like the biggest invasion of the Fourth Amendment we've had in a long time. And that's just how the establishment rolls. So, if you're going to vote Democrat, if you can't get away from the party, please throw it Bernie's way. I'd rather have, at the end of the day, debate of principles than flip-flopping Hillary Clinton any day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the ultimate really would have been Bernie Sanders versus Rand Paul, but let's face it, the establishment has dug its fingers deep into the two parties. It is the Republicans and the Democrats. And we're never going to have a debate between principles. It's always going to be compromise. It's always going to be trade-offs. No matter what, at the end of the day, we're going to be losing our liberties. But, what I want to tell a lot of the people out there, I know a lot of you, even watching right now, I know a lot of you are Bernie Sanders supporters, and I got to tell you, they're going to ask you, once Bernie Sanders drops out, they're going to ask you to pull your votes towards Hillary Clinton, because anything but Donald Trump. And a lot of the Donald Trump followers are going to be saying anybody but Hillary Clinton. But here's the thing that you need to consider is Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are both in cahoots. Okay, so Hillary Clinton's I'm sure has already had this discussion with Donald Trump that he was going to take the fall for the Republican Party to ensure that she gets the nomination, because let's look at it this way. She's a politician. Donald Trump is a businessman, so guess who's going to be in the political power? It's not going to be the businessman. He's going to keep doing his business, and the politician's going to keep on with their politicking. It's going to be Hillary Clinton that picks it up. So consider that they are working together. And you keep hearing all this about how Donald Trump's a racist. Keep in mind that there was actually a Grand Wizard recently from the Ku Klux Klan that gave a full-on endorsement with Hillary Clinton. And not only that, Hillary Clinton gave an endorsement and a farewell speech to a former Klansman that was a politician. So she's got some shady backgrounds. If you want to actually dig deep and do the media's work for them, you'll find that Hillary Clinton is no different than Donald Trump. So again, if you want change, if you want a difference, I strongly recommend you look towards the Libertarian Party, because Republicans and the Democrats represent themselves, not you. They are there to take your liberties away for their own ends. So that's all I got for you anyways.
Yeah, that's all I got too. I mean, unless you want to include a few more minutes of just bashing her to death or something, I think this will be pretty much it. So
yeah, it's literally beating a dead horse, man.
All right, everybody. Well, everybody, thanks for watching us.
No? Okay.
The Fiera. But everybody, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll start picking up with a few more videos here and there. Trying to maybe
next month we'll be discussing more about libertarian parties, because obviously these two parties aren't working. And so I would strongly encourage looking at a third party. I mean, they're gaining in the polls strong. The Libertarian Party is growing very strong right now, especially with the fact that we're handed these two shit options. I'd like to expound on those a little more here in the next couple of videos. So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that was yeah, that's the direction I kind of want to send it in.
Yeah, and like Brack says, the Libertarian Party is picking up. They're leading in new registrations right now, whichever state has the Libertarian Party as part of the party registration process. And there was a recent poll yesterday, I believe, that said that if Gary Johnson was running against Trump and Hillary, he would pull just 11% of the vote as it stands right now in that general election. So the third parties are starting to come in. I know a Green Party is another big one, but that's something we're going to be looking into with our next videos. And, hopefully the nightmare will end and Hillary Clinton will be gone, but we'll see. Thanks for watching, and this is Critical Thoughts. Bye, everybody.
Laters.